there must be another one off that way. Going over to Carolyn's. Are they going to drink out of her bird bath or try to eat her plastic flowers? Do you guys want to go outside and see them? Chase them away? No, you just want to stay in here? Hi, we're Andy and Nancy. In 2020, we sold our house, quit our jobs. We bought a 45-foot MCI coach bus with 56 passenger seats inside and set out to turn it into our home. Since then, we've been traveling and working in Colorado. And now we've bought land in Tennessee where we're setting up a homestead. Just went to the bathroom in my garden. Or is going to the bathroom in my garden. Nobody found a good spot for it. We'll watch Andy instead.
I'm not in Tennessee. I'm actually in Minnesota now. I came up here to meet up with Nancy. She's been up here for a couple of weeks. I came up here almost a week ago now. Yeah, a week ago now. I've been unbelievably busy since I've been up here. I came up to go to Lois's funeral. She was 97, lived a good long life. That really probably the least sad funeral I've ever been to in my life.
Hi, Frank.
I should have turned the camera on this morning. We're going back to Colorado. We didn't know we were going to until just recently. So the shelf that was here was the width of this carpeted board that's here, but you know, it was up against the wall. And when the bed was down, it made it so there was, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches there, which Nancy would lose stuff down, and it was really hard to get down there through that 4 inches too. You couldn't hardly, you know, get what did fall down there. You could get it from the front, you know, underneath there. You could get it from the back here underneath, but I mean, even here, because of the toolbox, it's a reach. And we didn't fold the bed up very often because with the mattress and the top are both on it, it doesn't fold very well. You kind of have to push the mattress up the wall and then you can fold it. So we could still fold it when we needed to haul big tools, but it wasn't an everyday thing by any means. Either way, I just built a new shelf, and that's not really even the exciting part. Here's the exciting part. We have a new diesel heater. We didn't need a new diesel heater, but a company contacted us and asked us if we wanted to try their diesel heater, and I wasn't going to say no to a free diesel heater. So this diesel heater is supposed to be good to 17,000 feet, and last year the diesel heater we had in the van, even on mountain mode, would only last about 6 or 8 hours. Connor and I were at 10,300 feet maybe. Either way, we ended up with no heat up there, which isn't the end of the world if it would have stayed warm, but it was anywhere from like 38 to 42 in the morning, and so it was, 38 to 42 inside the van, maybe a couple degrees warmer with our body heat. But yeah, I woke up in the low 40s almost every morning. I made coffee in there then, and that would bring up the temp to make it reasonable. But either way, I'm getting the van ready to go out to Colorado again. I did a couple of jobs around my parents' house, put a new shower valve in for their downstairs shower, put a new toilet in upstairs, took carpeting out of the master bedroom, had hardwood floor underneath the carpeting. Never should have had carpeting, but now it doesn't again. Met with a couple of friends, went back to Osseo, talked to the new instructor there, which is actually a student of mine that graduated, was in the field for 7 years, and now he's teaching the same classroom I used to teach in, and that was really cool to see. I'm so proud of him. He's doing so well, and such a cool program, and to see the program grow, it warms my heart. Those kids that went through that program, CTE is a really important thing in schools, and they took it out of so many schools, but to see that school district, I had a 4-bay shop. Now I think it's going to be a 10 or 12-bay shop, and I think they're going to have 6 hoists. I think it's a 10-bay shop. I think it's 6 hoists and 4 flat stalls, but it's cool. It's cool to see them expanding. It's cool to see them putting more money into CTE in that district, and the other schools are expanding and putting more CTE classrooms in. It's really cool. It's what we need in this world. We need people that AI isn't going to fix stuff. AI is going to do a lot of jobs, but AI isn't going to replace your faucet. AI is not going to shingle your roof. It's just not going to happen. These trade jobs I think they're pretty safe. And that's off track. I made a door for the cat litter box. I haven't installed it yet. I made it, it works, then I painted it, and then the wind blew it off, and now I get all this grass off it. It landed in the wet paint, and probably paint it again. Now they have a hole to go through instead of the whole opening. Opening would have been fine, but Silver likes to pull stuff into there. If he finds a sock on the floor or a receipt or anything like that, he drags it in there, and we're hoping with a small hole maybe he won't drag stuff in there. Garden's doing well, not that I've done much to it, but that's off topic anyway. There's my little Silver baby. Hey Silver, how are you? Do you need to be pet? Are you going to sit on Mom's flowers that haven't popped up yet to make sure they don't pop up? Actually, they look pretty sturdy, the ones that have popped up. Should be popping up something at each stick. Yeah, I don't know what's coming up, but something's coming up. I've been told a couple times, but flower names I don't remember. Oh, I'm not going to pet you down like that. I'm not going to let you roll around in there. If you come out here, I'll let you roll around. No? Maybe if I walk over here. Oh yeah, and this happened the other day too. Like 2 mornings ago, about 8 o'clock in the morning, the outer pane just shattered. No idea why, but we got to deal with that still too. It looks like there's no window in there, but the inner pane's still there. It's still waterproof, but it's ugly and it's a mess. Yeah, I was sleeping when it happened. Nancy came back, asked me what the sound was. It didn't wake me up, so I didn't know what the sound was. But Either way, we're getting ready to go back to Colorado. The neighbor will water our garden for us. We have tomato plants in there for her. She's got 4 tomato plants over here. And I don't know what that is. Cucumber, zucchini, something like that. No, that's a squash. That's a squash. That's the cucumber. And that's sweet pea or something like that. It's just a flower. We won't get anything off of that. It just kind of came up in there as a weed. We have more of it around here. That's just mostly crimson and, oh, I guess we got all 3 colors of clover there. I still got that mess to burn, but it's always windy when I want to burn. Little patch of clover here. Aside from the stumps I still have to take care of, it's a pretty good area of it. Looks pretty nice. This garden bed's just going to be clover this year. Yeah, this is the sweet pea stuff that's growing up. Got a bumblebee on it. And then another little patch of clover here. Here's our potatoes. I think that's all we have for vegetables this year. There are herbs planted in there. Don't ask me what kind. I don't even know why I'm giving the tour. I think that's a flower. It looks like a weed. Obviously those are flowers of some sort. And there's something planted there too. I don't know what it is. That's basil. I can tell what basil looks like. But I really should be working, not giving you a tour. Because we're going to leave in a handful of days.
Oh good, we can get rid of that one. Hi, bud.
This isn't going to work. I'm going to have to close the door to film, aren't I? That should help. Now I can turn the brightness down a little. Yeah, that should work. Now I'll get my new diesel heater. Like I said yesterday when this showed up from FedEx, the company that makes this diesel heater reached out to us and asked us if we wanted to try their diesel heater. That's all they said, and I said yes, and they sent it to me for free. They didn't ask for a video. They didn't ask for they didn't ask for anything from me. They just sent me a diesel heater. It's supposed to be a much better diesel heater than the ones I've been using. It still says made in China on the box, but this is $689 I think for this diesel heater, and most of them I buy are like the 150, 160. This has a brushless motor. I don't remember all the other stuff. I'll open it up. A lot of the stuff in here I think looks nicer than the diesel heaters I've installed. I think I've bought 7 diesel heaters. 6 of them, well, one was DOA when I first got it, and we were in Colorado at the time, and I didn't have the ability to return it very easily, so I never got it returned. Since then, I've used the pump from that one when a pump failed. I've used the fan from it when a fan failed. I used a glow plug on it when a glow plug failed, so I've used enough parts off of it. I don't really feel bad about, having that one DOA. This one's supposedly good to 18,000 feet of elevation. It auto calibrates, and that's what I'm most excited for, because last year when Connor and I were in the mountains at 10,300 I think we were at, and it plugged up. Like 6 to 8 hours worth of working, even in mountain mode, it would completely fill up with carbon. I took it apart, cleaned out all the carbon, put it back together. 6 or 8 hours later, it was plugged back up again. And I think it was the 4th time I took it apart, the gasket tore on me, so then it was done for. I wasn't putting it back together. I mean, I put it back together, but I wasn't using it after that. So the whole time we were out there after that, we were waking up to a 42, 44 degree van in the morning because we didn't have heat anymore. And in about a week, maybe just under a week now. Nancy and I are heading back out to Colorado, and we'll be taking the van with us. We'll probably be up there for 3 or 4 weeks, and we're going to be back up at that 10-3, the same campground we were at before. So I'm really excited to actually have heat while I'm in the mountains this year. So all goes well. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to unbox it here for you, and we'll see what's different, what's better, I don't think anything's going to be worse. It claims to be 4,000 watts. I've bought a 2,000 watt, a 3,000 watt, and a 5,000 watt in the past. The 2,000 watts actually a smaller box. I bought 8,000 watts too. But the 3,000 watt to the 8,000 watt are the exact same diesel heater. They just changed the parameters, the fan speed, and the amount of fuel they pump into it. So, I mean, the first diesel heaters I got, you could have done that. The newest ones, they don't let you go in and change the settings anymore. At least I haven't figured out how. This one's supposed to be automatic, so I won't have to go in. The oldest diesel heaters, you used to take your elevation, and I don't remember the calculation. It's been a couple years now, but say you're at 10,000 feet of elevation, so it's 22, 24% less oxygen than it's used to. You just do the math and you pull the fuel down by that much, and they work pretty well at high elevations as long as you went into the settings and changed the hertz of the fuel pump. But like I said, this one's supposed to be automatic. Let's open it up and see what it looks like.
Brothers and sisters, the world we share is filled with such despair and such pain. We're people at odds with our own selves.
The wiring harness comes complete in a loom. The other ones are bare wires. This will definitely be nicer when it comes to running the wires and zip tying them out of the way. I like that. They even give me a loom for the fuel line, and it comes with the good plastic fuel line. The green fuel line that the newer diesel heaters come with, they give it about a year and that green gets really brittle and they crack, and I don't need diesel fuel leaks, so much better. It's the line that the old ones used to come with, and much better line. Let's see what this pump looks like. Oh, that's heavy. Yeah, that probably weighs twice of what an old pump, the cheap pumps weigh. 1,000 to 5,000 watt pump, 12 volts. That looks and I mean, it just, the way it's put together, it just feels better. Directions. Wow, look at those clamps. Now that's a real clamp for the exhaust. The hose clamps that come with the cheap ones, by the time you get them tight enough for the exhaust, they strip out. And I usually end up purchasing quality hose clamps for it. But that's the kind of clamp an exhaust is supposed to have. I don't know if you're going to focus on it, but... Oh, the vent is even built better. And it's a larger diameter. Oh, that's... I didn't expect things like that to be any different. There's the air intake vent or filter. Here's the exhaust. The muffler built in. Wow, look at those welds. It's all stainless steel. I mean, I don't know if this is stainless steel, but these parts are stainless steel. Yeah, the ducting is much larger. Then the ducting for the intake has got a double hose, probably some kind of a muffler system for it. The mounting, well, even this is thicker. Wow. It's like everything's a step better than I'm used to. What's this little box have in it? Oh, probably the controller. Yep. Oh. So this is a temperature probe. That's what this is here. I bet you that, man, that'd be nice. Because we had hooked up the controller, and you can set it like 1 through 6, or you can, or 1 through 5 maybe. And then you have the thermostat. But if you put this anywhere near the diesel heater output, that area gets so hot so fast. But here they give me a temperature sensor I can put somewhere else in the van, and I know this one is designed to just, you set it to 70 degrees and that's what it's going to keep it at for you. Which is way better than trying to guess, is it a night for a 2 or a night for a 3? Or whatever you have to guess. This is heavy. I should get a scale out here and weigh all this stuff versus the cheap diesel heater. Look at that. So it has this, and this is all that holds the cheap diesel heater top to the bottom. But it also has 2 clamps. There's no need to go inside of here, but I'm going to because I want to see if it's how much different it is. So the main, okay, we got a temperature sensor there at the input fan. That's not on a normal diesel heater. We do have the temperature there for the glow plug. Really nice weather pack connections on the control board. There's no weather pack connections on a cheap Chinese heater. Probably a heat sink, the aluminum top for the control board. Looks nice. Put this back together. And there was no need to take it apart, except I wanted to see how different it was inside. So the only thing I can say about this diesel heater versus the cheap ones is it does not come with a fuel tank. I've thrown fuel tanks away. I have a couple of them left still, so that's not an issue for me, but compared to the cheap Chinese heater, this one does not come with a fuel tank. Everything else seems better though, so let's do some comparisons now. I'll go get some parts for my other ones and we'll compare them. I'll be right back. The reason I'm actually talking to you has nothing to do with me even being in Minnesota, but back in Tennessee a few months ago with my lawnmower, we used to have, before we purchased the property, there were 2 trailer houses or mobile homes or whatever, and a regular house. They just bulldozed a hole, pushed them into the hole, and then covered up the hole before we purchased the property. And they had left one of the anchors for one of the mobile homes in the ground with the strap that's like 1.5 inches wide, 1/8 inch thick. Maybe not even that thick. It's galvanized steel. It's about 5 feet long, 4.5 feet long, something like that. Well, that was in the tall grass, and I wrapped it around the blade, turned it into a spring. It wrapped around so tight around the shaft that I ended up having to take the blade off to get it off, but it didn't do any damage. Just took me a few minutes of time to fix it, but made a whole lot of noise. I thought I messed it up bad, but nope. It was easy fix. Really no harm, no foul. Just that's what it was. You can see the little rubber on the connectors here. Everything's a weather, the rubber there. Everything's a weather pack connector. I don't have a complete diesel heater to compare the weight of this one to the cheap one is, but I'll guarantee you this is heavier. I did grab a couple scales. I am going to weigh some of the other parts just to kind of get an idea. Weight doesn't always mean better, but thicker metal usually means more durable. So here's the duct that came with it. It expands out. This is with it all pushed together. Here's the duct that comes with the cheap diesel heater. It's quite a bit smaller in diameter, and it's about half the length. So then when it stretches out, you know, you're not getting as much duct with the cheap one as you are with the good one. I don't know how much duct I need, but I like the duct. Turn the scale on. Turn the scale on. So here's the exhaust from a cheap diesel heater, and it weighs 9.1 ounces. Here's the exhaust from this new diesel heater. I'll be able to get it to kind of have to balance it. 14.9 ounces. So, and 9.1 to 14.9. Not quite twice the weight, much heavier. The exhaust for the cheap, well, this is stainless, but the muffler is not. On the good one, that is, everything is stainless. This metal here that's all nicely, looks like TIG welded together is, yeah, the complete exhaust is stainless. Let's compare the fuel pumps. Oh, you scared me.
Huh. I scared you?
Yeah.
I just got the shit scared out of me.
Why?
I was standing outside listening to you trying to decide when I'd come in.
Yeah.
And a blue jay just grazed my ear with its wing when it flew by me. Scared the crap out of me. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's significantly more exhaust.
Yeah, and it's all stainless steel, where
That's
this is
really
regular
nice.
metal and that's stainless steel.
That's really
Like
nice.
here's the pump,
Oh wow, that's so much. That is so much nicer than the other
and
one.
then here's the other pump. 8.6 ounces versus 7.9, not much heavier, but this is plastic here.
Yeah,
Well, this is plastic for the connection, but underneath there you can see it's all,
it's all metal. Your phone says 12 hours.
okay.
So I'm sure it'll actually take the whole 12 hours because it's really slow. And if I remember from last time, it's really freaking slow.
Okay,
So I'm just gonna leave it there to do its thing.
okay.
And I'm gonna go sit out in the grass under the tree over by Carolyn's.
Okay.
And do a little bit of work.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll just keep doing this. Feel this too. I don't have a full one, but that's definitely heavier than what a... I don't have one that's all the way together.
oh jeez.
I-
No, you don't. But I've lifted them before, and
Yeah.
they're not that heavy.
No, I've disassembled them all just to get the good parts out of them, and I got the good parts labeled in this box here. And
Cool. Okay. It's warm in here. I'll see you.
yeah, it is. I can't wait to finish filming so I can keep the doors open.
Why can't you have the door open?
Because
all
it's so
late?
bright behind me, I'm just dark. So here's the fuel pump from the new one, and here's your standard Chinese diesel heater fuel pump. You'll see that this end here is plastic. This has a plastic sleeve for the connection, but behind there is all metal. So the cheap one weighs 7.8 ounces, and the good one weighs 8.5. So not that much heavier. I checked them with a magnet. Neither of them are stainless, so doesn't really need to be stainless. Stainless exhaust is more important than stainless fuel pump. This is the good one, this is the cheap one. You see how that's plastic crimped into there, and if you looked underneath this here, you'd see that it's metal crimped in or held in. Just looks like a nicer pump. Here's a wiring harness that comes with the standard diesel heater. And here's the wiring harness that came with this diesel heater. Much longer harness and much better built. And none of these are weather pack connections. If you look inside, you can see that you can see the connections inside of there. So if any of these are plugged in underneath the vehicle, outside of the vehicle, just takes one Minnesota winter with the salt on the roads, and this is garbage. Where this harness, if you look, there's little rubber sleeves inside of each of theirs that the wires go through. There's rubber. You can see through that plastic. There's a yellow gasket there. Yeah, everything is weather packed. Everything is sealed. So you can run this outside the car. You can have the pump underneath the vehicle, or, you know, not have to worry about the corrosion getting in there and destroying everything. For the exhaust on a cheap Chinese diesel heater, just have these little ridges. They're not even one that's have holes all the way through like a decent hose clamp would. But even a decent hose clamp like this really isn't designed for pushing exhaust together. With this hose clamp, that's designed. Let's see the weight difference. Not that it matters. They're different designs. I'm going to grab a smaller, more accurate scale here and see what it says. So I got it measuring in grams. The new one is 31.26 grams. The old style is 12.54 grams. So almost 3 times the weight. It's such a heavier duty clamp. And these will strip out before you can get that exhaust tight enough where you can't pull it apart. Poor design versus good design. This is the green fuel line that I don't like. It seems to work good, but about a year after you start using it, it'll turn like a dark brown color, and you can't squeeze it. It's no longer pliable, and you try to bend it, it's going to crack. And it's really not a good idea to have fuel lines that don't stand the test of time. I mean, it's not like I'm talking about, oh, this fuel line I put on 10 years ago is now brittle. Fuel line I put on 12 months ago is brittle. Things are supposed to last longer than 12 months. I don't have a complete diesel heater. I might have already said that. So I can't weigh the diesel heater versus a Chinese diesel heater, but there's significantly more weight to this. Probably have one of these though. Let me look.
20 minutes later.
I lied. I do have a 5,000 watt diesel heater back there that's still put together. So, and it's got the plate on it. So I'm going to remove the plate, weigh these two diesel heaters, and weigh these two plates. So the plate on the cheap diesel heater weighs 5.1 ounces. The plate that came with the new diesel heater, 14.0 ounces. So almost 3 times the weight. And this is the little things that, to me, really make me feel good about this diesel heater. The brushless motor, I've gone through a lot of motors and diesel heaters. I do like the fact that that is a little bit better, but when you see things like this, things that you could skimp on, things that you could make cheaper, use thinner gauge metal, but they didn't. Let me get some of this stuff out of my way. Cheap Chinese diesel heater versus the... Let's stand them on end and see if one is taller than the other. They're pretty close to the same. I think the new one is just a little bit... The new one's probably a 1/4 inch longer. Not really enough to make a difference. 9 pounds, 15.9 ounces. £8, 2.7 ounces, so a little over 1.5 pounds heavier. Let's open these two up too and look at the inside again. Oops. So this has 2 wires going to the temperature sensor, and this one is 3. The wire gauge looks about the same going to the glow plug. You can see this controller's got this aluminum heatsink top. This is just a cheap plastic controller. This is a brushed motor. And this is a brushless motor. Oh, and they got a little thing on it to balance it. So that means they actually tried to balance it when they did it. Really the biggest difference I see is this one has a temperature sensor right here, and this one does not. So this one knows the temperature of the air coming into it. I don't know if that's what it's using for its thermostat, if you don't use that other thermometer. I haven't read the directions yet. You just watch me open the box. I will read the directions and probably figure more out there. Very similar in looks, but this one's just a little bit beefier. Slightly larger, a little over 1.5 pounds heavier, but every other component looks better. Every piece of this new diesel heater looks better than that $150 one. And it should. It's, 4 times the price. I'd expect it to be a better built diesel heater. I'm excited. I know this is an OEM manufacturer of diesel heaters for I'm going to have to look that up. I'll figure that out and I'll throw the names up here. There's a couple different manufacturers of semis that use this diesel heater as their OEM. So if you purchased a new semi with a cab heater, this is the cab heater it would come with. And it's still 1/3 of the price of a Webasto or trying to think of the other brand. I can't pronounce it anyway. It's German, starts with an E. So far, I'm really impressed with it. Like I said, I was sent this diesel heater for free, and that was it. They never asked me to make a video. They never asked anything of me. They just sent me an email, hey, we like your channel. Would you like to try out our diesel heater? And I said yes, and like a week later, it showed up from FedEx. So I guess it's probably considered sponsored content because I didn't have to pay for this. But they're not paying me anything either. They just gave me a free diesel heater and said, here, see if you like it. Never asked for anything in return. That's pretty cool. Through the magic of editing, you aren't going to notice the difference anyway, but it's warm out here. I'm going to grab the instruction manual, go into the air-conditioned bus, read through the instruction manual, Then we're going to install it. I'll be back.